What is going on, Blurverse, and welcome back to another episode of For the Blurcher. I'm RJ.
And your boy Hero Harrison.
And it's me, Big T.
and on today's episode of For the Blurcher, we're going to be breaking down episode 4. The whole world is watching Falcon and Winter Soldier, which is now streaming on the Disney Plus platform. Joining us today, we have some fan favorites here. We have Monique and Cam from Blerd Up. What is going on, guys?
Hey. You on mute, Mo.
Hey! Thanks for having us again.
Real smooth, Mo.
It's been a long week.
Yeah. We're so glad you guys could come. Thank you guys for showing up. I know it was kind of last minute, but I really appreciate you guys coming through and saving our tails. So appreciate you. Good looks, guys. I can't wait to hear what everyone thinks about this episode, because we were kind of talking about it, before we went live, and we have a lot to say about this episode. So forgive us, those of you who are watching. We will be all over the place, but there's a lot that we have to cover because a lot happened. So y'all ready to get into it?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's go. Let's get into it. So I want to start out by talking about the first opening scene where we see Bucky, and he's in Wakanda, and he is kind of basically they're reverse engineering whatever Hydra brainwashing that they had going on. And I wanted to talk about this. Just speaks to how advanced Wakanda is. The fact that they possess the ability to reverse brainwashing. How impressive is that to you guys? Or what does it speak in terms of Wakanda's just their raw power and everything they have? I'll start with our guest, Mo or Cam, whichever one of you wants to go first.
Take it, Mo.
It speaks volumes. I mean, I love everything about Wakanda. Like, to me, when I saw that scene, I was like, yeah, they can do it. Like, they got this. They don't need nobody's help, because I'm just like, Wakanda, they have the technology, they have the intelligence, they have everything Bucky needed in order to remove that brainwashing from his head. So for me, when I saw Io and him sitting at that fire, and she was like, "You ready?" and he was like, "I guess." I was like, "No, this gonna work. This gonna work out, because if anybody could do it, it's gonna be them."
Yeah. I have to agree, their technology advanced, and then also there's this holistic aspect of Wakanda. So if anyone was going to be able to break Bucky of that control, it would be them. But that scene changed my whole outlook for me, basically, because now I realize Io was assigned to him to kind of be like his caregiver. So now the disrespect of you breaking Zemo out of jail hits me harder. And I'm like, so we saved you, and you really broke this dude out just because he's a means to the end? Nah, son. So I was side-eyeing him a little bit during this episode just because of that scene alone.
That's a good point. I didn't even think of just that kind of added a layer of betrayal, which is why she was so kind of, you could tell she was visibly upset. Like, he literally killed our king. You broke him out. What'd you think, Jay?
It's just, I won't get too deep into it about this yet, but it's just, there's so much power with Wakanda. And if you read Black Panther comics, you know how advanced they are with vibranium and their technology, and how that can affect a lot of people who come, within that realm, because as you can see, Bucky's they're kind of getting into that white wolf aspect. They're kind of teasing at that. Yeah. So they're kind of setting up another story, not just for Wakanda, but for someone that was a part of their history. So I think it's going to be really interesting to see what Bucky's going to turn into.
Okay. What about you, Trey?
I thought that this whole scene was just really cool, because it gives us, yet another look at Wakanda, which, Wakanda is just all-time favorite place in the Marvel universe, for me at least.
Yeah.
And it just kind of just shows that they really can do anything. They took his brainwashing out. They just helped this man, and they even accepted him enough to give him his own code name, which I thought was super dope.
Yeah.
It's just a dope code name, and I just thought it worked. It worked with everything.
Yeah. I like everything everybody said. This, for me, I guess the scene, I liked it because it was one thing about Wakanda is you also see their brute force, their brute power, but I like the fact that this was a subtle flex. If that makes any sense, this was a very subtle flex. Like, we got this. We can do anything. I love the fact that Cam mentioned that they have this kind of holistic nature to them. That coupled with their intelligence and just their advancement in technology, it just shows just how powerful just the name Wakanda, can be in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the Marvel Comic Universe. So this scene to me, I felt like it was a brilliant way to open up because it does show the connection between Io and Bucky, and it, like I said, it adds another level of betrayal that was, I guess, committed on Bucky's end because they went through a lot with him. I'm pretty sure it's not a 1, 2, 3 thing to reverse brainwashing. So all that they went through, and then you go and free him. Yeah, I would be tight too if I was Io.
Man, also, it didn't even like click to me until I saw like Io's and Bucky's conversation that he like literally killed their king and they did stuff for them, just like y'all were saying, and I was just like, dang, that really is disrespectful.
Yeah.
And like I don't even know what's going through Bucky's mind. Like I know they needed him, but the minute he saw Io, I just like I wonder what he was really thinking. Like, did he really think it all?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
You said, "Oh shit."
Yeah, as we see, they don't really care about. They'll whoop anybody. So,
as we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole scene was just it was a magnificent way to open the episode for sure.
Jay, what were you about to say?
Yeah, the only thing I was going to mention was the reason I keep saying like that's the White Wolf aspect is because if you just watch story or watch shows like Avengers Assemble or something like that, or just read Black Panther like I was mentioning, that in the comics the White Wolf is actually T'Challa's half brother, which is a white man. So I mean, I think Marvel is doing a good job of teasing at that and teasing at different aspects that we see in the comics. It doesn't have to be exactly like it. It just has to be similar to it. So I think we're gonna start seeing that real soon. So I'm pretty excited.
You said
what?
I was just gonna say I do like that Marvel is incorporating all these characters, like even if they're not the exact character, we still get these Easter eggs of these things that are happening.
For sure.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Trey?
Yeah, so later on, after the little talk Bucky had with his Wakandan
sister,
with Io, they kind of go back in and have a conversation with Zemo, Bucky, and Sam, and they're talking about the Flag Smashers and how they have the serum. And Zemo's kind of going on a tangent that anyone who has a serum is kind of a what did he say?
Terrorist or no, not terrorist.
Supremacist.
Yeah.
And they're just like, not everyone is a supremacist because you have the Nazis, which obviously they didn't do good things with it. They were experimenting on all this, and he mentions the Avengers, and Sam's just like, well, hey man, that's my friends. And what really made me laugh is Bucky goes, we're not talking about the Nazis. But my question is, do y'all think that everyone who kind of has gotten the serum or kind of has gone after to make the serum has a negative or sinister plot in mind behind it all. I'm gonna start with Jay. I'm gonna go with you for that one first.
Yes, I do. To answer that, yes, I do. Because, yeah, I mean, you know, when you have, well, going back to like, you know, Captain America and stuff, like with the timeline, it's just ever since the Super Soldier Serum has been experimented on, and has been taken by different corporations within, like, you know, Russia, around the world. So I think that we're going to start seeing different people take advantage. Because obviously, like, you know, they said, Karli mentioned that, like, you know, there's only 12 vials left, but I don't believe that, because I think that still you can make an off-brand of that Super Soldier Serum, and it's been around for too long. So I think that someone is still like doing something behind closed doors, and is definitely going to start building up something with mutants or something more super.
Man, if they bring listen, mutants is the only thing I want them to mention. I've been waiting for it, but
yeah,
That and Mephisto. Well, I'll be happy.
but I do wonder who else could possibly have, you know, the means to make this super serum, because so far we've only seen the one professor guy, and they only did that because they were experimenting on Black Captain America. But now I'm gonna throw this question to Cam. Do you think that there's sinister plot behind it all?
I don't think it starts that way. I think everybody with anything starts out with the best of intentions, but circumstances are a bitch sometimes. You know, if you're reacting to your environment, sometimes you don't know what you're doing may not be the best way to go. I think everybody's kind of been in that situation before. But the thing about this series that I keep saying is everybody's kind of right, everybody's kind of wrong, depending upon what side of the table you're sitting on. You know, your crusade may be valiant, but at the end of the day, it's going to hurt a group of people or somebody. So I have to say, yes, I do think there is a level of supremacy involved, because when it comes to the Flag Smashers, I was telling Mo this. Yeah, happy-go-lucky, trying to get the world back to a better place. Fine, whatever, but I don't think that shit's exclusive.
Yeah,
I don't feel like it applies to everybody. So let's say you build it up.
okay.
Yeah.
People are always going to look down on somebody.
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to be in a position to be downtrodden. So,
okay.
And I agree with that, Cam. I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just because I didn't want to forget what you said, because it's so important, especially in this episode with good and bad. You said, you know, some people think they're doing good. Some people think, you know, that they're not doing bad. So, and this episode really does define that, I mean, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I like how you said that, because what actually does define a hero? You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, in all these movies, you know, yes, the Avengers may save 5,000 people, but that building, there's like people in there and 10,000 people died.
yeah.
So it's like, did you really save the day? You know, I mean, if it's one person, yeah, but like, you know, there's no Lois Lane in this universe. So I just think that I agree. You just got to find that, you know, you got to collab with that good and bad, and find that continuity is going to be right in the middle.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's also very interesting because this is just a random thought I had. The Super Soldier Serum brings out, you know, your most inner personality. So for Steve Rogers, even they mentioned it in the scene, they're like, you know, Steve Rogers took the serum and he's, you know, a great dude. And they're just like, well, there hasn't been another Steve Rogers. But then you look at all these other people who have taken the serum and they didn't turn into like a Red Skull. But we may possibly see U.S. Agent turning into something like that, because, you know, his aggressive personality, he thinks he's doing what's good for the people, but really, you know, we see what's going on.
Thanks for calling him a U.S. agent, by the way.
Yeah, it's Wonder Bread.
Because also he don't got the A on the helmet too. So I mean, just another side.
So I'm gonna throw the question to Mo. What are you thinking? Is there a sinister plot behind?
Well, I pretty much agree with everybody else, but in terms of, anybody who might be either seeking out the super soldier serum or creating the super soldier serum, I think Erskine was like the only person who was like, yo, I've realized what I have created and I want to make sure that it is in the right hands before I just, hand it off to somebody. And he did that in Steve Rogers. Steve Rogers was able to show him that side of, it doesn't matter how many muscles I have, how tall I am, what I can do, I'm gonna be here all day. And I think that's the things that he saw in Steve Rogers that made him feel comfortable to say, okay, yeah, I'm handing this off to the right person. But everybody else, maybe except for, I'm not sure if this is MCU or I'm just thinking this wrong. Maybe Bruce Banner. I think he was messing around with the super soldier serum a little bit. I don't know if I'm remembering that right. It could be wrong. But
I feel like in MCU. You're not sure? You said in MCU?
Yeah, I'm not sure if that was just like MCU. It probably might not have been in the comics. But I think he was trying to mess around and recreate the super soldier serum, and then it turned him into the Hulk somehow. I think I saw that like in the last Avengers maybe movie. But
yeah, I believe that. I believe that.
So, yeah.
But those probably.
I remember seeing that too. He was trying to like. I think that's mostly what brought all of our superpowered Earth heroes. They were messing around trying to make a super soldier serum and turn them into what they are now. But I didn't mean to cut you off. You were saying something else.
No, but I was just saying, just basically, I think, when Erskine saw those, because he knew that super soldier serum was going to bring out that person. It's going to bring out your personality the most, like whoever's going to take that serum. And I think he was like, okay, me seeing this in Steve Rogers, this was what makes me feel comfortable of giving this to, him. But anybody else, I mean, again, I feel like what Cam was saying, it's that feeling of want to be superior that I feel like everybody else either seeks out the serum or tries to create the serum because they want to be, they want to dictate to people how things should be instead of working with people to make things better.
I agree.
I definitely agree with that because it seems like everyone's just kind of looking for the best weapon, the best thing to do what they see as best, But yeah, RJ.
What do you think? I agree with what everyone said. I do believe that there's a causality between super soldier serum and trying to get it. And, I sort of like absolute power corrupts absolutely, if that makes any sense. I feel like, while you may start out with the best of intentions when it comes to super soldier serum, I feel like if your heart or whatever is not pure, it'll bring out the worst in you. So that kind of makes me question Karli. She has a serum in her. So, and it's like, it's weird because I go back and forth of whether I like her or I agree with her motive or not. I feel like I'm for her motive. I'm just not for her methods. And so this kind of makes me really feel like, because I've been writing stuff down while y'all been talking. Y'all been making me think, man. That's why I love this show. But y'all got me in trouble with WandaVision because y'all had my brain exploding or whatever. But yeah, just hearing y'all talk about that just kind of makes me realize that that super soldier serum caused a lot of stuff. Like they said, the super soldier, ended up helping the Nazis, which, led to Captain America, which led to the need for the Avengers. And it's like, there's so much, it's like everything's like a domino effect when it comes to the super soldier serum. So I feel like it's something that, while you may start out with really good intentions, it may not always end up that way, which kind of makes me feel, for Karli a little bit, because I don't think she knew what she was getting herself into. She may have had these desires to help and to do what she wanted to do before, but now that she has this serum in her, it's really brought out her desire to do any and everything she can to, for her cause, and eventually it radicalized her and turned her into a terrorist.
Mm-hmm. And we saw that in the beginning of this episode, because in response to Karli killing those people in that GRC warehouse, they've created the Patch Act, which is making things stricter on the borders, making people, making it more strict, more policing on the borders. So what did they start out their group for? They wanted more open borders. They wanted more, helping out and people supporting everybody around the world. But now that she has done this thing where she's actually hurt and killed people, they like, nah. So basically she hurt her cause. She hurt the people that she was trying to support by killing those people.
Dang.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
I also got it, that Marvel does a really good job of making their villains, or just like the villains of the story, they have like relatable things they're going for. Like when they explain stuff, you're like, oh, that kind of makes sense. I understand where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm. But I think that's the mark of a good villain, though. A good villain has motivation that makes you go, It's not like with Lion King and Scar when he just wanted to be king. Okay, who doesn't want to be king? Jackass. But like, there was no motivation. Like, Mufasa isn't, leading the pride the way he should, and we're starving and we're dying. He literally just wanted to be king. But with Karli, like what Shayna said, she's a complex villain, and it kind of makes you go, I get what you're doing. I understand that the people coming back from the blip ruined your life. You got kicked out from, a country, that opened its borders to you, and now you're back out in the street and you're living alone. But you're going about it all the wrong way.
Yep, and that's the thing, RJ. I to back you up on that, and I wanted to just say something real quick before we get into the next part. So the reason, going back to the serum, I think it's so important to focus on that, because the thing is, I'm sure you've heard rumors and stuff. Which I don't really wouldn't pay too much attention to, but like people have been saying Omega Red might show up in this show, and just a few other X-Men and stuff. Because the reason I'm saying this is because with the super soldier serum, it's just that it's been around so long. So what people have done, as I was mentioning like earlier with the Russians and with other secret corporations around the world, have already got their hands on this, and they've already tried to make an outlet to that original super soldier serum. So they've created a different form of it. So there's three types of forms. There's the super soldier serum. It's just the serum. There's the adamantium. There's carbonadium. So the carbonadium everything is mixed in with super soldier serum. It comes from that. You know what I'm saying? So the carbonadium basically is what Omega's Red's blood cells are like. It's what is running through his veins. And the adamantium is obviously it's Wolverine and everybody else who has adamantium, Sabretooth maybe sometimes. But I think that's why it's so important to focus on this, because everyone has a different motive, with what they think is good and bad, like we were mentioning. And what that does, it just ties into how important this little serum, like this little piece of serum, is going to do to destroy the world because of people's ideas. So Karli, I'm not a big fan of her. I never liked her at the beginning of this episode, because I just think that what she's doing is wrong. You can't just go around killing people. And she said kill like 3 times already.
She didn't mean it.
But see, that's the part of it, though. She didn't start off that way. You know what I'm saying? But once you have the power to do something, the mindset is no longer how far is too far. It's who's going to stop me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
If I want to do this, I'm going to do it. And they've proven can't nobody stop me at this point. So,
yeah. But I think you pointed that out. I think last time you were on the show, you said she's going to do something. She's going to go too far. I think it was you that said that she's going to go too far.
Yeah. That's just basic. Like, seriously, that's just psychology.
Yeah.
That's the psychology of the situation. If I feel like I'm invincible and can't nobody tell me shit, then I'm going to act like that. I'm going to do what I feel like doing,
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yeah.
AKA the Dora Milaje.
Yeah, then you woke up. And then you woke up.
Move or you will be moved, son.
Oh yeah, we will definitely talk about that in a second. So let's move forward a little bit. Falcon, the whole crew, pretty much Zemo and Bucky, all they go and they talk to U.S. agent, and he's like, he found him. We saw that coming. We knew that was gonna happen. They're like, okay, so like, hey, I can't let you guys, go past this. This is not like he's under arrest. Like, what are y'all doing? It's like, okay, hold on. Falcon's like, hold on, chill out. Like, this man has been, under, whatever for this amount of time, and we're trying to make sure that he's not going to do anything stupid. So everything's cool right now. We don't trust him, but we're going to move forward. So they are like, okay, I'm going to go talk to this girl, and the girl is Karli, because she mentioned that it's not her mother that died. It's just like a caretaker that passed away. That's Danya. So Danya passed away, and there's a funeral. And long story short, Falcon and Bucky were away for a moment, and Zemo's talking to this girl, saying, hey, like, what's going on? Like, we're at this funeral. Yeah. So
snitch ass kids.
And Zemo tells the kid, like, hey, these men are not to be trusted. But we move forward just a little bit, and we get into that scene where U.S. agent is saying, like, okay, you got 10 minutes in and out, right? And then they start talking, Falcon and Karli. He's like, one-on-one. And Cam, we're going to talk about the good and bad now, because this is important. So we see this conversation kind of like nothing gets heated or escalated, but he's still trying to figure out why he's doing it. But he says, hey, I'm on your side. It's just that I can't let you just go around killing people still, right? And still, like, the things that they throw back at each other, back and forth, is like, good and bad. But I want to ask you first, Trey, what in this conversation do you think is defining good and bad? Like, what is good and bad to you in this conversation?
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. I don't really know, because in their minds they all have sense of good and bad, but and you also kind of see that Sam sees like where they're coming from and all this stuff. So it's kind of a weird perspective, but obviously the Flag Smashers, they're bad. They're kind of like their head, they feel like they're in the right place, but they're ultimately bad, I guess. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Because like it's just the reason I say good and bad, because my opinion is just I think you can't really, like, what is good and bad? Like, what defines it? And one side is like Chris Hansen. One side is like, what I'm doing is like, yes, like this is the way things should go. Another person is like, no, this is how life is. And it's like, but it's not. And they're saying, yes, it is. So it's like, this is power struggle, kind of. But what about you, RJ? What you think, man?
First of all, let's talk about these snitch ass kids. All right.
RJ
piss me off. Because I don't like mouthy kids. I don't like kids that don't listen.
You don't like kids at all, dude.
I like
you
good
don't like
kids,
man.
I like good kids. Marvel doesn't have any good kids. They all talk. They do stuff. They don't sound Marvel has the worst kids. Let's just talk about that. What pissed me off is I feel like I'm pretty sure they said, "Hey, don't tell nobody where this funeral is going to be held. Don't tell nobody she's dead." They told not to open her mouth, and you open your mouth for a piece of candy.
It's Turkish delight.
What?
Have you ever had it?
But you know what? In the Chronicles of Narnia, didn't Edmund give up his damn sister to the White Witch over some Turkish delights? So maybe it's a Turkish delights. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I don't care what kind of damn candy you got. I'm not taking no candy from no strange man who come up singing a weird song. Got a fur coat on. It's summer outside, yo. Like it's 80 fucking degrees. I'm sorry. It's 80 degrees outside.
80 fucking degrees, right?
Like, I'm not taking nothing from him. Matter of fact, I'm gonna be like, Mama.
Right, stranger danger, stranger danger. It just didn't make any sense.
Nemo did come up on some mad creepy stuff, and then he just pulls out a bag and like looks at him like, oh.
Yeah, it's like, what? Like, it wasn't normal to me. I just didn't understand. Like, what did he? Was he not worried people were gonna think he was a kidnapper? Like, none of it made any sense to me, which is weird. But the kid just gave up the location so fast for a piece of candy. I'm like, like y'all kids can't keep no secrets. Don't talk about nobody in front of your kids. Don't tell them nothing because they're gonna rat you out. Kids are the worst, man. Especially Marvel kids. Marvel kids are terrible. But back to the original point of the conversation. I had to go. Y'all know I had to get my tangent off on these damn kids, man. But I don't know. What I don't like about that scene too was I feel like, and I think somebody mentioned it in the comments, they sure let Zemo go off on his own a lot for somebody that's supposed to be, imprisoned or whatever. And I don't know. I just feel like the whole, I guess, the whole relationship of kind of trusting somebody but not trusting somebody, it kind of, I guess, somebody said it in the comments, he kind of operates not on a black and white line, but it's kind of a gray area to where he's willing to do a little bit more than Sam or Bucky are. So for me, as far as like the line of good and evil, good and bad, I feel like they're kind of teetering on a gray line, because if you look at what Captain Wonderbread and Lamar are doing, they have to go, kind of by the books, and now they're kind of treading into doing things, off the books and off the record in order to get things done. So I feel like we're seeing everybody kind of operating within the gray area, because they didn't even want to sign the accord. So I feel like they're comfortable operating in the gray area.
Yeah. Good point. Because that's the thing. Like, and I think that's a fair answer, because we don't know what's good and bad, because we've all seen, the motives of these different villains, especially like, Killmonger.
The less they talk, the better. The less scenes they're in, the better.
Yeah, and I just think that Marvel does a good job of, especially explaining the motive of what villains are, instead of just being like these mustache twirling villains and be like, hey, I'm gonna take over the world. We're sick and tired of that. Yeah. We don't need to see that anymore. So I like how they do that. Mo, what do you think? What do you think is like defining good and bad in the situation, or do you think there's like a gray area for it?
Yeah, I think it's a gray area. I mean, it's kind of like the conversation that Karli and Sam were having, because again, Karli is like, this is what I have to do to make people see me, make people think I'm serious. And Sam's like, I understand where you're coming from. I understand your frustration. I know you want support, but you got to learn the things to do in order to get what you want. And the things you are doing, that's not going to get you there. At some point, you have to realize, even if you feel like you are doing the right thing, at some point you have to realize what you're doing is working, and if not, you got to switch it up. And she's just not willing to do that at this point. So Sam, on the other hand, he's like, I feel where you're coming from, but let me show you. I've operated in this gray area for I don't know how long now. Let me show you how you can get this done the right way, make people listen to you, make people say, maybe she's got a point, Again, it might not always be, the up and up, but let just sit down and be taught. Let somebody help you who knows what they're doing, basically. So, yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because as we see in this episode, and y'all might agree with me, we're starting to see that mentor role in Sam, because he's getting to that point where we know he's going to be Captain America, but it's just we're slowly seeing that evolution. Like, hey, this is not right, and that's what we want. Like, we know Sam is pure of heart. We know that, and it's just the fact that you see another side, which is U.S. agent, temptation, greed, anger, and all that. So, I mean, and I've been saying this since the beginning of the shows, in our episodes, like this John Walker, this man is crazy. Like, he is not mentally stable, because he's been in the war, suffered from amnesia. He suffered from loss of his father getting killed, or his brother getting killed. So it's just, all of it's piling up. You know, it really does define what your past is, with good and bad and temptation, like I was saying. So there definitely is a gray area, but it does come down to what you're gonna do in the end, what's your motive. But
for sure.
yeah. So
Yeah, agree 100%. So now let's get into this scene right here, where they run into the Derp Squad, and they decide to team up with them to go to the funeral uninvited after this snitch ass kid gave up the fucking location. And so now they're at this funeral that they should not be at with the matriarch of this camp. And we see they handcuff Zemo to whatever, and Sam convinces Captain Stupid to let him go and just kind of talk Karli down. Because and what I like about this too is I feel like there's always, when you're playing a game, they say, do you want to go on guns blazing or do you want to do stealth? There's always two ways to handle a mission. And I like the fact that, you know, Sam was willing to say, hey, before we go in there guns blazing and ready to fight, let's see if we can talk this out. And that's not something you ever really see, or not ever really see, but that's not a tactic that, you know, writers use too often. Is to kind of, you know, bring the villain down with, you know, a good conversation, not a speech, but a good conversation. And so Sam goes in there and he tries to kind of reason with Karli. And, you know, he tries to kind of connect with her on a certain level of, hey, I'm going through what you're going through too. I'm a black man in America. You know, I get where you're coming from. You're pushed out, you're forced out, you lose everything. And he really tries his best to reason with her. And he even makes her see that what she's doing is the same thing that radical terrorists do, that Nazis do. He really kind of, you know, brought her down to earth in a sense, and it's what she needed. And in the middle of doing that, this moron decides that, oh, he's taking too long. I'll go there and handle it myself. I'll corny. So he goes in there, and the whole thing was just a mess, and they end up fighting, and just, I don't know. So what my question is to you, and we can, you know, go on and talk about everything that happened in the scene, but what I want to know for you guys is, had Captain Wonderbread not burst in there, do you think Sam would have been able to kind of reason with Karli and just stop everything that was going on? I'll start with Mo.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm nodding my head like, yeah. But yeah, absolutely. I felt like John Walker Wonderbread, whatever. Just to take a step back, bro. He doesn't know how to do that. You know, he's a soldier. He's always been the mentality of, okay, I'm given a gun, I'm given a mission, I go in there and take care of it. And he thinks that now that he is being given the title of Captain America, that he's just going to walk into a room and be like, hi, I'm Captain America, John Walker. And they're going to be like, oh, we give up. No, you got to learn how there's different ways to handle different situations. And that's what Sam was, I think, trying to show him, at least like, yo, chill, give me 10 minutes. Let me go in here. Let me talk to her. Everything will be cool. But he can't even do that because he's just so worried about people seeing him in an image where he's not getting stuff done. And he always has to be that aggressor. He always has to be that person of, this is my mission. I got to go in and take care of it. Take the enemy down. And that's not the way you can attack every situation. You have to learn how to go into a situation, analyze what's going on, and then determine the best way to deal with that. And he just is not capable.
Hashtag not my cap.
Yeah.
What you think, Cam? Do you think Sam would have been able to reason with Karli eventually?
For the time being, I think that things would have calmed down. It wouldn't have went the way that it went. And it kind of pointed out something I posted last week. Like, at this point, I trust Zemo more than I trust Wonderbread. It's because with Zemo, you see it with Sam, there's a level of diplomacy that they have. And I feel like the way he approached Karli was his way of trying to show her, you know, I get it. Things are rough. There's a different way to do it. It doesn't have to go down like this. But again, Wonderbread, because his entitled ass has the title of captain. Entitled.
Yeah.
And he's insecure right now because he's not doing a very good job. You know,
he's actually terrible.
He had to push the situation. And I was telling Mo, if there's one thing that I can't stand in this world, is somebody who deviates from a plan. Those wild cards are the ones that get people killed, and we see how this went. It didn't go well, you know.
I'm sorry,
So,
Cam. You trust somebody more when they dance like this in the club?
Absolutely.
Like, that's when you go, I can trust him.
Absolutely.
Right there.
It's better. Look, it's better than what mayonnaise was gonna do in the club. Like so. But you know, at the end of the day, I feel like it's all about diplomacy, and what they're doing is they're giving us nuggets. Even if Sam doesn't believe it, they're showing us that he's the captain. You are Captain America, dude. You know. So
yeah. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I agree, Cam. Because and I agree with your question. Yes, I think that this conversation could have been calmed down for the time being, just because eventually she probably would have, when you go back to your original, wolf pack, they kind of convince you to be like, hey, get back to yourself, Mm-hmm. So I think you're like, okay, yeah, guys, we can, all right, fine. I guess we'll go blow up another building today. We'll go do that. But yeah, I think it would have went different. But I have to agree with Cam, because even though I don't trust Zemo, but yeah, I do trust Zemo way more than John Walker. John Walker is just an insane dude. We'll get that into that in a little bit, but Zemo is, and RJ, you brought it up again. I'm gonna have to throw him in that gray area, because I won't bring up his past or his origin, but if you just know how he operates, yes, he's a madman, absolutely, but he's an organized madman, if that makes sense. I just think that he has so many plans backed up already. I think that I just can't take my eye off him. But U.S. agent, I'm like, yeah, John Walker, you're crazy. So
for sure,
you can trust Zemo to be Zemo. Who he is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Walker is unhit. He's unpredictable at this point. So
exactly.
I think what just makes me mad about this whole situation is, had he listened, it kind of, like I said, everything, there's, for every cause, there's an effect. You didn't listen, you didn't follow the plan, like Cam said, and now all of the vials of the super soldier serum are broken. It's like, it just didn't, when you don't follow plans, there's consequences for that. And now we see Captain America has, whoa, didn't mean to call him that. My bad. Whoa, sorry. I'll remove myself.
Matumbo was finna come through your window, dude.
No.
Yeah, sorry, guys.
So let me ask y'all this. I was just gonna ask y'all, do y'all think, so this clicked for me kind of like last episode. I feel like the reason he was a wild card, he wanted that serum. That was his goal.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that's another reason he rushed in there. Yeah.
Do you think he suffers from imposter syndrome, to where he feels like maybe he's not worthy of the title that he has, and that's kind of was his goal of getting the super soldier serum to kind of make him worthy?
I think, like all people who want power, they do whatever it takes to get it, even if that means being an unpredictable butt munch.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Who? Trey?
So I got a lot to say, low key. So first of all, I want to say, did y'all notice that Captain Cornball is just slowly getting more less clean shaven? He's starting to look kind of crazy. It's kind of getting all to him, and I feel like that's partially because he's starting to see that he is not Steve Rogers. He cannot live up to this legacy, and that's why he's always looking for validation and stuff like that.
Exactly.
In this one, he has a messy beard, and he just looks like he's not really getting sleep, and I think that's a testament to what he's kind of going through in his head, and what kind of messed up things we're about to see. As you see, he takes the serum.
Yeah.
But then I also think that if Sam were to have had more time, he could have found common ground with Karli, and they could have maybe, I don't think they would have solved their issues all the way. There would still be some, conflict in there, but it would have been maybe less of what it had been if Wonder Bread Man didn't hop in there guns blazing. But I also think he did that low key because he sees that Sam is more Captain America. He's more diplomatic. He has the right head in going into these heated situations. Whereas y'all were saying, U.S. agent is just a soldier. Like, he just knows the mission. He doesn't really know the diplomacy behind certain things. He's just here to do this one specific thing, and anything outside of that margin, you know, he's not really equipped for that.
It's that war mentality that he brings to the table that's dangerous, because when you bring that war mentality, it's kill. So that's his motive, is kill. But he thinks that's getting the job done. So,
but yeah, that's basically it. I just think Captain Wonder Bread just really sucks, and even Battlestar Galactica was on Sam's side.
What Mo? What did you call him? Marmar?
Yeah, Marmar. Marmar, sit this one out.
Marmar.
He just kind of was like, yeah, we should totally like see if talking it out would be a better way to handle things. And Captain Wonderbread just fidgeting like a mofo, just messed everything up.
He was fiending for some action.
Yeah,
right.
But then so after that, we see, after Wonderbread breaks in there, and the distrust comes from Karli from Sam. It makes sense. They just kind of get into the scuffle, and all of the vials of serum get spread out, and Zemo just smashes everything, we think. And then old dude come in, take a serum and slip it in his pocket. And at this moment, I knew, I was like, this is not gonna this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
But everyone, all the Flag Smashers kind of get away, and we kind of skip to a scene of John Walker and Battlestar, I don't know his real name, Battlestar, talking, and
Lamar
he's
Hoskins.
just
Marmar.
Marmar.
Well, we'll have to remember his name after this episode.
But you see them talking, and you see John Walker still looking for validation, because he has the serum now. He's like, would you take the serum if you had it? And dude's just like, yeah, I absolutely would. And then you go back to where Zemo and Sam are talking about it, and Sam just immediately like, no, I wasn't offered it. I don't need it. I'm a good dude. Which, if Erskine, I feel like if Sam was back in Steve's time, Erskine would have offered it to Sam, because Sam really is giving the ideals to, I feel like, that Steve would have had. But in the scene also, we kind of get one of my favorite scenes is when the Wakandas break in, and they're just like, hey, your time's up, give me Zemo, it's all, we doing this thing. And you got Captain Wonderbread again. Hey, I'm Captain America. I have all the power here. You guys kind of suck, so buzz off. And they're just like, well, we have jurisdiction wherever we're at. But you want to have jurisdiction over us, you could just catch these hands real quick. And he put his hand on her shoulder, and at that moment,
oh my God!
Oh,
Can I go first? Can I please go first? Don't even ask me the question. Don't even ask me the question. Okay, first off, this is the second time we've seen this happen. We saw this in Black Panther. So what is with people, mainly whites, European, Caucasians, putting their hands on Black royalty? Stop putting your hands on Black royalty, please. Stop touching things. It's okay not to touch anything. You can keep a distant barrier between each other. We are in times of Corona. Don't touch me. So my point is that I didn't like that. First off, I cringed. I did. So I mean, I know Mo probably felt the same way. Cam, you're probably like, So, but yeah, just long story short, this scene was amazing. You just saw a spear come out of nowhere, like next thing you know, everyone's fighting, and Sam and Bucky are just standing to the side of like, should we step in? Should we do this on time? And they're like, just hang out for a second. But this is my thing. This was the last thing I was gonna say. Wakanda. This is how powerful Wakanda is that they can literally walk anywhere and do whatever they want. I don't think people understand that. If you, like I said, read Black Panther comics or understand the purpose of Wakanda and how much power comes from that, then you understand that they can walk anywhere. Oh, y'all have vibranium? Oh, okay, yeah, free pass, go ahead. It's the strongest metal on Earth. They have access to that. No one had that. It's rare. It's a rare substance from space. It comes from space. No one else has that. So
stop us. Who gonna stop us? You? No.
You? Are you with our technology? Yeah, right. Get away here. So, so what I'm trying to say is that I just think that first off, stop putting your hands on Black royalty. Second, you don't mess with the Dora Milaje, and you don't mess with Wakanda. And third, this whole thing was just like, oh boy. And in the end, like, when a U.S. agent got down off his butt, he was like, they weren't even super soldiers, and I was like, yeah. So
I gotta say, when this scene started and they started fighting, I was like, yeah, beat him up. Teach him a lesson real quick. But I guess my question to y'all is, which ultimately I think the Dora Milaje, they were kind of in the right for just wanting to get Zemo and whatever. And, they beat him up. They're totally in the right. My question for y'all is, if you were in the Dora Milaje's shoes, would you stop and hear what they had to say about what is going on with the situation? Or,
no.
I think the fuck not.
Nope. Next question.
I mean, Trey, you see the shirts we got on.
I absolutely would not. Because you have to think about it. Their motivation is, in the beginning, I forgot when it was, but they were saying that King T'Chaka died on their watch. On their watch, and that. I guess that kind of speaks volumes to how serious they take their job as Dora Milaje. Like, we're not here to talk. We're not here to hear you out. Bad enough I walk in here and you have this condescending tone telling me that I don't have jurisdiction. And it's not even, first of all, it's not even your country. That's the problem with Americans. You don't run everything. It's not even your country. You're going to tell me I don't have jurisdiction? You have the uncompromising, unmitigated audacity to part your mouth and tell me that I don't have jurisdiction in a country that's not even yours. Who the are you? That just it rubbed me the wrong way. And then when he said, "Oh, put your pointy sticks down," like that was so condescending. It's like, put your little primitive spears down, caveman. That's how I felt he was talking.
I heard the N-word. That's what I heard.
You too, right? You too, right? That's what I heard
with the hard ER. That's what I heard.
Hard ER, man. All that stuff with hard ER.
I feel you,
bro. When I tell you, that's how I felt watching him talk to her. Like, it was so condescending or whatever. And so that ass whipping was just completely justified. And like Trey, I was like, yeah, beat him up, yeah. Like it was like, and like I said earlier, it's like that line in place. Like, did you even pinch the bitch? Damn, like you didn't do nothing. Like, y'all didn't do a thing. And it's just to show how, and what I like about them is that they know they have a job to do, but they also have an immense amount of restraint, because they could have really just wrecked everybody in there, but they didn't. They let Bucky live. They embarrassed you,
right?
And let your arm fall off, but they let you live. They could have very easily killed everybody in there and just did what they came to do. But I love the fact that the Dora Milaje, even though they have a job to do, they still keep their humanity and they do what they have to do. But to answer your question, I'm not listening to shit. I have a job to do. Get out of my way.
Black royalty, man. I'm telling you, it's organized, like just the way they do it. But yeah.
I also think this was the moment John Walker was like, I'm taking that serum.
Absolutely. He was white man butthurt. Like what Marvel has done really a good job of, they've really showcased like
white
how
fragility.
Do you want to say it? White fragility, like the type of racism that you know exists, but you can't really prove sometimes, and misogyny, like Sharon Carter. Like, you mean to tell me that she's not getting pardoned for?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like they're doing a really good job of showing how white men tend to feel like they're entitled to run the world. And then when they get their ass beat, they get butthurt about it. So
and they go back and get the drugs to even the playing field.
Yeah, but it goes back to what Monique said on the last episode we were on. Bitch, raise your hand if you fought Thanos. The door was on the field.
Right.
Again, you haven't been battle tested. Stop sticking your nose in your own hero business.
Right.
Real talk. Yeah.
I really quick. I'm sorry. I let y'all talk. This is my like. How this scene all popped off? Because first I thought he was about to get them hands from Sam, because I was like, "Go on, Sam, go on, Sam, it's done." But as soon as that spear came in, I was like, "Doop, doop, doop, doop." I know what's about to happen. When he put his hand on the shoulder of the Dora Milaje, I saw like this literally stopped for me, like in the episode, and I saw that scene like with James Franco and Seth Rogen, and I think it's like the interview movie when he was like. Excuse me? Like that's what literally I saw when he put his hand on her shoulder, and I was like, oh, it's over. And just the way how she just like dismantled them so quickly, even when Sam and Bucky jumped in and was like, all right, y'all, kind of break it up. The Dora Milaje was like, if y'all don't move out the way, like, gotta do business, you know?
Hey, Mo, that scene from the interview, he's like, you so ignorant.
Right. And he's just like, excuse me? That's literally what I saw when he was like.
Me too.
You know what that reminded me of? Y'all seen The Color Purple when she slapped Suge Avery and the piano player was like, "Oh, time to go."
At that moment when he did the hand thing, I was like, "It's about to
go down." There were so many things I was just like, do you want to keep that arm?
Yeah,
because I mean, you know, it can go away anytime.
Yo, what if they would have took Bucky's arm? Like, what if they were like, yeah, that's penance for you getting in the way, and took the arm with them?
That's what I was about to say, though, because it was like, granted, they were fighting, they're almost like family. So it was like nobody between Sam, Bucky, and the door, nobody was really gonna get hurt. It's just the two outsiders. You like, we don't know them motherfuckers, so we gonna give them work, you know.
Exactly.
The look on Bucky's face when that arm fell, because like Sam was like, "Did you know that could do that?" He was like, "No."
He's like, "No, I didn't know."
And look, you see the look on Io's face, like, contingencies, bitch.
Like,
don't think we don't have a way to take you out.
Keep on playing with me.
I just think it was just so funny, just how like just with that the arm is just like, you know, putting the hand on the arm is just it just irritates me, because I'm just, there's another scenario in my head. I'm like, you know, I already see Bucky over there. You know, there can be one more super soldier, you know, with an arm, so I can cut off your arm like easily. So don't mess with me. So like, don't mess with this.
Like, I'm surprised when that arm fell to the ground, Io didn't say, pick it up, this is all of our shit and we're taking it back now. Y'all keep messing with us. Like, that's
repossession.
Captain America with the shield we made. Look.
What if they would have let his arm fall on the ground and put a boot on it?
It will be unlocked when you can learn how to
bring Zemo back, you get your arm back.
Right. Bring him to us.
but Mo, that's crazy though. But for real, Mo, like she kicked the shield up and I was like, ooh. And then she held it for a second and she's like, well, no, we don't even need that. Like, that's been worn out too much. Y'all can have that.
No, it's Sam's. I think she left it because she knew Sam is taking it. It's his.
Touche.
Okay.
That's the only reason they didn't take it. Like if Sam wasn't there, they would have took that shield.
So I was like, yo, just let him have it, you know.
Right.
Sam gonna get it. Just put it down.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do agree with that, Cam. I mean, because eventually, as Trey was mentioning, we're seeing, well, we have seen John Walker.
I'm fucking done with y'all.
I can't, man. Y'all, this chat is like, we have the best chat. We literally have the best chat.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, y'all are so great. Y'all are great.
Between Too Cool and Shayna, man, y'all have me rolling every time we do this, man.
Yeah, y'all are great. Y'all are the best.
Y'all wild, man. Y'all are wild, bro.
I was just saying, RJ, we by far have the best chat, man. Yeah.
Bro, y'all almost killed me.
let's move to like this last part. So okay, so Cam, you're the older sibling, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a wrap. I already know what you're gonna say.
Okay, yeah.
She would have been dead. She's dead. No if. I don't care what your struggle is. Don't call my sister. Don't call her kids. Bitch, you wanted it. You got me.
And yes, you know exactly where I'm going with this. I mean, I'm going to ask everyone individually, but I mean, I know your answer now. But Cam, so here's my thing. I have a little sister too. So she's 2 years younger, 2.5. So I know exactly where you're coming from on this. So we get into the scene where after all that that whole fight and all that, and we forgot to mention Karli got shot by a U.S. agent in the beginning. But anyway, so the last part that we kind of see is Karli threatens the sister. Okay, so we are mentioning I have a sister, you got a sister, whoever has a sister out there, protect your sister for real. Especially if she's younger, like you protect her for real. Anyway, what happens with this scene is Karli threatens the sister, and it's this conversation about like, you know, hey, like this, like, you know, I just want my information, like, you know, or else I'm gonna kill your brother. And they hang up the phone, and you know, Sam's like, what? Oh, he did what? Or she did what? Oh, okay, yeah, we on the way right now. They get there, and Sam says to Bucky, hey, I gotta go in alone. And Bucky's like, nah, I'm gonna go with you. It's like, all right. So they go in, and Sam walks up and is like, really? Like, you really gonna call my sister, my little sister, and threaten her? Like, that's how you doing it now? So I mean, that irritated me. But in this scene, what's crazy is that, again, they're still trying to explain these motives of like, you know, hey, like this is how serious I am. Like this is what I want to do. I'm trying to do good, but you're not listening to me. It's like, well, no, you're not doing good because you killed a bunch of people in the building. What are you talking about? So I want to ask everyone individually, with this scene, with them talking about like the, you know, the motive again. I'm gonna go to Cam first because I know, you know, we got the sister connection. So do you think that Sam will eventually either take care of the Flag Smashers, like, you know, make them all disappear, or do you think that he's actually going to come to a conclusion with them?
I'm gonna get my brother to come you up.
I'm sorry. Like, this is probably one of those times where I can't even see past it because it's like you're dead. Bitch, I ain't come at you like that. Like, I didn't come at you like that. Yeah. What's wrong with you, little girl? Now, let me show you what happens. You wanted my attention. Now you got it. I feel like somebody else is going to come into play here. We still got the power broker, y'all.
Oh, shoot, yeah.
And his shit, he or she wants their shit, and they not going to be able to get it. So there's going to be multiple angles happening here. One way or another, they're going down. I just don't know who's going to be responsible for it.
It's tough to say. So I mean, I just thought that just throw that question in there because it's interesting. We don't know with the power broker, with the flag smashers, with U.S. agent, with there's 4 things going on. It's a lot. So we don't. This can go in any way. But Trey, what you think, man? Do you think that Sam's going to take down the flag smashers? Do you think he's going to come to a conclusion with them, or what do you think is going on?
I think he's definitely. I think ultimately he's going to take him down, but in more of a diplomatic way to make him look more like Cap. But in that moment, I would have came in heads on sight because he was trying to be cordial with her, come to her on some, I feel your struggle, whatever. And he just mentioned his sister. Now she's going and threatening his family and stuff like that. And then he comes up there, and then she's trying to be all diplomatic. No, like you can't be diplomatic after you just
right.
What's up?
Yeah.
So I felt like there was only one way that scene was going to play out was because of the whole family threatening thing. But I think eventually he's going to take him down, but in a way that makes him more respectable. And I think he's just going to bring him to justice, honestly. I don't think anyone's going to die other than the one dude that did. Or the 2 dudes that
Yeah. But I mean, we can talk about that too a little bit still. But I mean, I agree. We don't know what's going to happen. And we do end up seeing. I guess we can pretty much talk about that since it goes into that scene. We do end up seeing the fight break out because she has this whole trust thing. It's like, but you don't even know him like that. You just met him. Anyway, I thought that was weird. But but I mean, he eventually, Karli kills Battlestar. So it's crazy. But RJ, what do you think is going on with the scene with Sam and Karli?
I'm team Cam on this one because I feel like you ain't about to bring my sister into this. Like I said, those of y'all who know me personally know I really don't rock my sisters like that. But let them need me for something. Let my sister call me and tell me somebody threatened her life. Yo, I fought in church over my sister in front of the Lord. All right? Threw hands in church over my sister. I don't give a fuck. I don't fuck. No, you're not threatening my family. And then what bothered me about it was she was mad serious about it. She was like, if Sam doesn't come see me, I'm coming to see you. So it wasn't like a mild threat. It was like yo, if your brother don't come see me, I'm pulling up on you and your kids. Now, y'all know I don't like kids, but there's a line. I'm not going to threaten anybody's kid. I'm not going to watch your kid, but I'm damn sure not going to threaten nobody's kid. So when she crossed that line, I feel like there's no crossing that back. You can't threaten my family and then try to be, oh, hey, welcome to Chick-fil-A. Like, it doesn't work like that. No, all the pleasantries out the way. It doesn't work. There's no more pleasantries at that point. What I do like though is I think we kind of all came to the consensus that Karli isn't aware of how far she's willing to. Well, not aware, but she's willing to go farther than she initially thought she was going to go. I was a kid when I fought in church, Shane. I didn't know any better. I wasn't mature. I was a child. I won't say a child. I was a teenager. I was old enough to kind of know better, but my emotions weren't in check then. All I knew was my sister had some problems, and I had to help her out with those problems.
That's your sister, RJ. So I
never had them again, though. Guarantee you that. She didn't have a problem with nobody else in that church. But I just didn't like that whole threatening family thing. And what I like about it is it kind of shows how far Karli's willing to go, and it kind of erases that gray line that we thought she was walking. She has a good cause and a good reason for doing it, but like we said, her motives about doing it are completely wrong. They're just completely wrong. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah, because that's the thing. I mean,
one more thing.
Go ahead.
And you knew Sam wasn't playing around when she said, "Come alone." He was like, "No, I'm not gonna follow no rules." come on, let's ride. And he walked in and was like, Karli, like the blackness in his voice, like that man was ready for it. Like he came dressed for smoke. He wanted all the smoke.
Oh yeah, and I agree. And I know Mo's looking at the situation because you know in our chat, like you're the sister of our chat. So it's like we have if somebody threatened Mo like outside of Blerd or on Blerd Up, we would look at Cam first and then be like, all right, Cam, we got your back, man. You know, we're gonna do what you do. So, but again, it's like protected. It's just being protected. That's just the protective nature of older brothers. So again, I'm with you, Cam, with you, RJ. So it's just that's just the nature of it. But Mo, I know you got a lot to say about this. I know you're a sibling, younger sister, but still, like, how do you feel about being threatened?
I mean, exactly what I said. I'm gonna get my brother and them to come and F you up. I got uncles, I got a brother, I got cousins. Y'all don't want no smoke with them. Yeah, one phone call, that's all it takes. But if it's the shoe was on the other foot and somebody called me and was like, yo, if you don't meet me here, I'm gonna come at Cam, and I'm gonna be like, well, good luck with that.
I'd be like, Cam's crazy.
Yeah, he's crazy. Like, don't get it twisted. When we was growing up, like, I was tortured. Like, I'm the babysitter. Like, I'm tortured. But anybody who came at me at school or anything, like, it was done. Like the next day, like they wouldn't even look at me, talk to me. Like, yo, I've had cousins who have been gang affiliated just be like, yeah, you want to talk about somebody's Walmart shirt? Last time I saw that person ever. So
yeah, exactly.
What did you do to them, Cam?
That wasn't me.
That wasn't him.
That wasn't me. I still had an image to maintain, so I wanted to go to school.
Anybody who got
Cam didn't do anything, right?
I'm not worried about anybody who got smoke with me or my family.
Can't nobody prove it, so
yeah. So I mean, again, like it just comes down to family. Family's everything. People don't play with their family. You watch National Geographic and stuff. You see even like the animals, the lions don't play with getting there. Their cubs getting messed up. So it's just nature. It's just reality. But last part, I just wanted to talk about. I mean, pretty much is just the last scene that we saw when they take off from the fight because we see that U.S. agent is chasing down Karli, and one of the members of the Flag Smashers after the death of Battlestar. So the guy ends up in the street. One of the Flag Smasher members. U.S. agent throws a shield in his back, and then he's kind of like desperate on the ground. He's wounded, and then we just see the dark side come out, and we see him take the shield, and he goes crazy, absolutely just insane. And Marvel's getting dark. I mean, Marvel is dark, but it's still getting darker the way they did this. The way it was shot, it was dark. But what are y'all's final thoughts on this? Like, what does everybody think about U.S. agent going dark, going rogue?
I want to talk about this scene in its entirety.
Sure.
Because this was a pivotal moment in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It definitely kind of crossed the line that there's no going back from. And one thing I will say, somebody in the comments had mentioned that action sequences, the fight choreography in this show are definitely movie quality. And it's one of them things that, like, I love Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but the fight choreography was very Power Rangers sometimes. Mm-hmm. And with this, you get like hard-hitting martial arts and, military training and judo. And it's just so well-crafted. And I appreciate the fight scenes in it so much. But I want to, like what Jay said, let's get into just everything about this scene leading up to the grand finale where we see Marmar, getting his lights knocked out for good. And then, and then we Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into this scene. So let's talk about it. So what did you think about this whole Marmar scene and the ending with Captain America? I'll let Trey go first.
Yeah, so first of all, I gotta say, Karli Spartan kicked the fuck out of Battlestar Galactica. Like, there was no, she came in hot. As we're talking about family, I think Captain Wonder Bread sees him as family, because I get that they went to like high school together, something like that, right? He, you know, whether or not he is dead, I think he might be dead, but there's also a possibility he could be alive, just super paralyzed now. But he saw that as he died, and that just, you saw the switch flip, and I just thought that when he chased down old dude, I was like, yeah, he's definitely about to do something bad. And the minute he raised up his shield and went down, I thought he decapitated him like on the spot. I thought they were gonna go that route, which they didn't, which is fine, but they totally should have. They totally should have just decapitated him on that. And what's worse is it was in front of everybody. It wasn't in like private. It was like people were filming, and now this is gonna be what people think of this new Captain America. This is what people are gonna think of probably America, because he is the soldier of America. And yeah, so I just thought that it was all kind of crazy, and I'm excited to see where we go next, because I think this is going to transition into Sam being transitioned into that role more as we go on with the show.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I know Cam at one point did mention you think he was gonna get, we thought he's gonna get the shield back by the end of the show, and I feel like this is gonna be the catalyst for him to get that shield back. So what did you think about that, Jake? What did you think about everything that happened in the end?
I'm gonna keep it short and simple because I got too much to say. I mean, you know, from the beginning, I've been saying this man has been crazy. Like, you know, if you just, you know, go read about him and like his background, John Walker, I'm talking about, U.S. agent. He's just crazy. So I mean, I didn't see this scene coming, but I mean, I saw some darkness, you know, slipping out of him slowly. But yeah, I mean, this scene was just crazy. I mean, you know, I knew he was gonna turn to the dark side because in the comic books he was a killer. And unfortunately, the government were like, "Oh, well, he's killing a lot of people. That's not the American way." And he does step down, and then Captain America comes back. But I think that's when we're going to see, as Cam was mentioning, I think we're going to see Sam take that role eventually. And I think that either John Walker is going to realize that, hey, like this is I can't do this, and he's going to give it to him, or he's going to fight for it. But I think he's going to give it to him because he's going to realize that he's going insane, and what he's doing is not right.
Okay. Cam, Monique.
I think that well, first of all, just Marmar being, you know, killed or paralyzed or whatever, I'm not really sure if it's confirmed that he's been killed or not, but that kind of mirrors back to a scene that we saw previous in the episode where you know, Wonder Bread couldn't wait 10 minutes for Sam to talk to Karli. So he was like, yo, Bucky, you need to get in there. Your partner is, you know, counting on you. So we see that coming back now where, hey, Marmar was counting on you, bro. And what happened? He's hurt, he's dead, whatever. So that's when you see that humanity just suck kind of out of him, because again, like I think Marmar was the only thing. I keep calling this man Marmar. He was the only thing that had been latching on. He was his only sense of just like reason through all of the stress that John was going through, and now that reason is gone. So then we get the quick scene of we get the jump to scene of, you know, Wonder Bread killing that Flag Smasher guy, which if you guys think of it, kind of mirrors to what a court case that's happening today, you know, that's been happening for the last 2 weeks. People, you know, have seen what's happened. They're filming what happened. And to be honest with you, in this next episode, I have a feeling that it's not going to be like, well, you can't be Captain America anymore because this is what you did. I feel like they're going to be like, oh, well, he was just doing his job. He was killing a terrorist. Like, I mean, you know, that's what he's supposed to do. He's Captain America. Like, yeah, that's what we want, right? So I actually have a feeling that Sam is going to have to fight John Walker for that shield, because at this point he's not going to give it up, I don't think. And the government is not. I think they're going to try to explain it away to say, you know, he's just doing his job, you know, and there's no reason to take it away from him.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, because Marvel is hinting at, like, you know, of the realistic aspect of how the government operates. So I think that you gotta pinpoint those points, like, pretty much, and say, like, hey, yeah, like, you know, Sam's still not safe, like, because we already saw that in episode 3. And so, I mean, clearly this is not gonna go the way that people might think. It's not gonna be a happy ending, but I mean, he's gonna get the shield, but still something's gonna happen that's not good. He may get the shield, but the government be like, you be careful of that shield now. We got our eyes on you. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
It's government property. Yeah.
You jaywalk, we taking it away from you.
Exactly. He may be on a really thin, small leash after this. What do you think, Cam?
So I don't think Marmar is dead. I think it's just like how Rhodey was in Civil War, because I feel like in the comic books, doesn't he get powers also from the power broker? Something like that.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
I'd hate for them to let another black hero go out like that. But anyway, I agree with everything everybody said. I'm just gonna say this because I chuckled when it happened. Karli has got up and ran when she saw what dude was working. It's like, okay, look, little girl. Now he's got super serum. Now he's got superpowers, and she looks shook.
Yeah.
So I feel like somehow, now that this has happened, Sam is gonna end up protecting her.
Oh, okay.
I think this probably jarred her back into reality. Yeah. Like there's bigger bads out there than you, sis. Look, so
yeah, for sure.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's basically what I saw. Look, that's basically what I saw. Like
it shook her. I don't think that she realized that she was, you know, gonna, I guess severely injure him or possibly kill him. I think that when she did it, there was so many layers of everything processed in her head. Like, one, you possibly just killed a man. 2, this guy has super soldier serum. You just killed his partner, best friend, whatever you have it. Like, it's time to run. Like, she did it. She said, oh shit. Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! She ran. Like, and I just like the fact that she was processing that. But that whole, like, fast forward to the end scene where, and shout out to old boy, because I feel like, he ran a certain way so that way she could get away. Because you ever think her following is loyal, and they pointed this out earlier. Like, she's done so much for them that they're so loyal to her, they're willing to die. We saw that earlier when they killed the other black guy who with the airport scene, and when he pushed the pole over and they shot him down. Like, they're so willing to die for her. That just speaks to how loyal they are to her. Now that she doesn't have they all died one by one. So now she doesn't have an army of people backing her down, backing her up. The people that, you know, her backup is getting smaller and smaller. And so I'm anxious to see what's going to happen when he catches up with her, because I feel like it's going to come down to Sam protecting her. But that end scene was just brutal with him, you know, holding the shield. And I thought somebody was going to stop him when he had the shield over his head or whatever. But lo and behold, like Jay said, Marvel is getting darker and darker. And I'm loving it, because it can't all be jokes, you know? At the end of the day, when you're bringing in all these aspects and elements to superhero movies, and, you know, especially with shows like Invincible, if y'all have not checked out Invincible, please do. It's now streaming on Amazon Prime. Especially shows like Invincible that are layering their heroes and layering their worlds and fleshing out their worlds. There's no excuse for something just being flat and one-dimensional. So I'm really appreciating Marvel just taking it there. You know, it's getting good, and I can't wait. It definitely, it shook everyone up. Everybody ran out when they found that old boy was knocked out and he had powers. But people filming, and, you know, it just was a crazy way to end the episode. I saw online people were saying wow and things like that, but I didn't think it was going to be that kind of a wow at the end of the episode, because it definitely caught caught me off guard with Cap. You know, whoa, damn, I called him Cap again. I'm sorry, it's the suit. I can't. It's the suit.
It's cool, man. He's not gonna be Cap for long. So
yeah, he's not. So he won't be a factor after a while. But I thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and I thoroughly
hold on. Nobody's asking the important question.
What?
Where the fuck is Zemo? He did what he normally does.
He
just
got out.
And goes away.
That's why I said earlier, like, why don't they stay on top of him? Like, I don't understand it.
They would have if it wasn't for Wonder Bread. Every time he goes off of his leash, it's got to do with Wonder Bread coming in like, I gotta be doing something, you know, just sit your ass down somewhere, bro.
Yeah, he's trying to be righteous, and it's like, dude, he's like that kid at school that Trey's mentioned a while back that wants to get all the attention, is trying too hard. And it's like, dude, just be yourself. Like, stop. Just relax. So
when did he escaped during the ass whooping, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. He went out that door when the Dora Milaje were fighting, because the Dora Milaje opened the door.
Yeah.
No.
Yep. So he escaped like 3 times and came back twice, right? Like, I feel like he escaped a bunch of times.
Yeah. But think about, that's the beauty of Zemo, because again, at the end of the day, I don't necessarily disagree with what he's doing. I mean, I just don't. But you trust him to be Zemo. That's what I say. And if he's not known for anything else, he is known to distract people.
He is.
So
he's a manipulator.
Yeah. So I want to see where he pops up again within this story.
Well, because how many episodes do we have left?
It's 2 more left.
2 more? Okay, 2 more. So we got more.
Deuce.
Okay. 2 more. So hopefully we'll see Zemo pop up again. I want to see where this whole Wonder Bread Cap, I want to see where that's going to head, because that was just brutal, and people are filming, and it's 2021, and that went straight to the internet. So I'm pretty sure wherever that universe is taking place, it is viral, it is out there, it is not being taken off the internet. So I can't wait to see where it goes. This episode was bananas, to say the least. It was crazy. I had a lot of fun watching. I had more fun talking about it than I had watching it. So I enjoy when you guys come on. So before we get out of here, Monique and Cam, where can everybody find you guys at?
Twitch, Facebook, YouTube. What's the other one? I can't remember. Instagram at Blerd Up Reacts.
OnlyFans? No, I'm just kidding.
Girl, stop saying that. They already be wilding in the comments. Please stop saying that.
And Trey, where can we find you at?
Y'all can get me on Twitch and TikTok at Spiderboy Trey, and that's Spiderboy with 2 eyes instead of a 1. You can get me on Instagram at maximum_spider. And yeah.
Okay, and Jay, where can we find you at, man?
Oh man, you already know you can find me all across every social media platform. My Snapchat is hero.harrison, but TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all that is Hero Harrison Talk. And last thing I want to say before I go is that I hit Blerd Up Reacts in a DM a while back. I just wanted to give a shout out to Rayshawn Lucas, who is another lost Black soldier in comic books. So you don't know who that is, go look him up.
Cool. And you can follow us on all social media platforms at For the Blerdture, as well as the Silver Site. We have some exciting things coming to you soon. We're working on a couple of other shows in addition to For the Blerdture. We have a women's wrestling podcast called WCW The Podcast, which stands for Women Can Wrestle. We are looking to sponsor a couple of local wrestling shows here and there. So watch out for us on a couple of those. I can't speak on it yet, but we're working for partnering to sponsor a couple of local professional wrestling shows, as well as we have an open world vlog coming where Corey and I travel to different states, to different nerd shops, hunting for nerd treasure and just being nerds. And we can't wait to show you guys what we have in store. We have to redo some stuff because we went somewhere and we recorded for hours and have absolutely no sound. So that happened. So that was a waste of a trip.
No.
Yeah, it was a wasted trip. But we are planning to go elsewhere and do some more exciting things. And I can't wait to see what we bring to the Silver Site Network. So everybody in this chat's links are down below. Everybody's link tree, everybody's link to the YouTube, everything is down below. So before you get out of here, just go ahead and click on those link tree and explore and see what you can find. Everybody on this episode has great content and they're great people. And I really believe in everything they do because I don't have anybody on the Silver Site Network unless I agree and really believe in their work. So everybody who's on here brings something amazing to the table. So be sure to check them out. Before you get out of here, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. With that being said, I hope everybody has a great evening. And we will see you here next week again for another episode of For the Blerd, where we break down the next episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Everybody have a great evening. Later days.
Where's Bond?
Blerd Bond. Oh, there you go. Blerd Bond. Yeah, forgot about that. Damn.
Thanks,
All right.
Mo.
Bye, y'all. See y'all next week.